Greetings, divine spirits, and welcome to another video blog on Deepen in the Divine through Scott Krytsa, which is myself. I'm a spiritual storyteller. You can visit more about the work that I'm doing at krytsa.com. Also, sign up for my newsletter. In fact, because of that, some of the folks that have been on the newsletter have been asking about the novel that I'm working on and hopefully finishing by the end of the year, called Masters of Love. And just real quick, here's a synopsis that I came up with or wrote up about the novel. And basically, I start thinking about the mind, and the mind is the most powerful tool that we have. It can convince us that we're in pain and suffering, or we can learn to master the mind and experience physical, emotional, and spiritual peace. You can experience what it takes to master the mind, see love everywhere, in everyone, and achieve true peace, and that is through this retelling of the greatest story ever told. So through the novel, I invite everyone to follow Jeshua, Jesus, the historical Jesus, and in this case, his wife, Mary Magdalene, through their own first-person perspectives to understand what it took to be true masters of love, which is why I titled the book that way, because I feel like my understanding of what it would take to be a spiritual master is that you would remove all of the roadblocks to love, or to God, basically, same thing, and that's what these two masters did. Obviously, the idea that Jesus was married could be controversial. Maybe people are opening up more to that, especially through Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code. And then a lot of people, I think, have been writing different books about the different, I guess, aspects or perspectives of Mary Magdalene. And so I'm just offering another one of those. And quite honestly, to be truthful, and I'm always going to acknowledge this whenever I speak about the novel, it's in the acknowledgement section. But Gary Renard's books, he's a Course in Miracles author. He was visited by two ascended masters, and in the 3 books that Gary's written so far, and a new one's actually coming out in November, I think about mid-November, but the ascended masters would drop like little hints of what the real historical Jeshua, they call him Jay, was like, and his wife, Mary Magdalene. And it got me thinking, like, wow, I've definitely heard that concept before, but what would they have been like if they were really living like A Course in Miracles or true forgiveness? And so this book is constantly asking the reader, not only, what if the Bible did not get the historical accuracy correctly, but what if Yeshua was so enlightened that he never suffered during his trial, the march to Golgotha, and his eventual crucifixion? And what if his wife, Mary Magdalene, was equally as enlightened as Yeshua was? And what if Jesus and Mary were true masters of love? And so by having those questions in my own mind, and quite honestly, I was pretty frightened to actually write the novel. It took, after working with a life coach, I finally decided to take the plunge and to write this book versus another one, which I'll eventually get out. It's more of a spiritual sci-fi book, but not as potentially controversial. But that wasn't my intent of writing this book. It was just pure curiosity, pure passion around trying to understand how would these two masters like literally think? How would they go through their day and interact with those around them, and to think with God, to also work on healing their own mind or minds as they went about their days until they were completely enlightened. That was the aspects of them that I really wanted to truly understand and to deepen within my own understanding. And I also felt that maybe there's a few people out there like yourself that may be interested in this as well. And so that's kind of the premise of what I'm working off of. And I also do check in and, want to understand as I connect with like Holy Spirit or God, hey, should I be writing this? Should I be putting this out there? And so far, my own guidance, and people could obviously argue that I'm not getting correct guidance, but the way I feel is, keep going, keep doing this. And really the last bit that I wanted to share today was just what I've personally experienced by allowing myself to get into the minds of of the historical Jesus or Jeshua and his wife, Mary Magdalene, because it's really helped me open my eyes of what I thought I knew about like A Course in Miracles, or what true forgiveness was, or what it means to be totally dependent on a higher power, on God, to basically allow your life to unfold and to really trust in that and to be okay with that. And then when things come up that take you out of that peace, out of that spiritual peace, that peace with God, what does it take to truly do that, like moment by moment, day by day? In Jesus's case and Mary's case too, I felt like her unfolding was probably longer because she had to deal with her husband after or during, what appeared to be his trial and murder or execution, and all those years after. I think it probably took her a while to get over that experience, even though I felt like she was really enlightened by that point herself. And that's sort of how I've just really come to really love these characters, who are potentially also, real historical characters too, just like even more. And I'm also hopeful that because I've tapped into sort of these archetypes and trying to understand them through writing fiction, that it's been helpful for me too. I mean, it really has helped me see like A Course in Miracles, or how to practice true forgiveness, which I'll talk about in another video blog series. What is that forgiveness formula? But really what it comes down to is, I think we all want to return back to God, just fully have knowledge of God again. And that can happen while we're still having this experience, in my case, me as Scott, and you and yours, but that as you practice seeing everyone as one, as a child of God, as sons or daughters of God, whatever phrase works for you, I think that's one of the messages that I really appreciated sort of reinforcing in this novel, is how humble Jeshua was, and that he knew at the highest level that we were all part of this one experience, that we were probably just all fractured pieces of it. But until you returned your mind to that oneness state and saw everyone there, then you were still just basically playing around in the world of duality, and that you wouldn't escape if you still saw and believed everyone as being secret or separate from everybody. And that is the big secret, I think, of what Jesus was trying to teach everybody, that was really hard to grasp back then, and is, I think, tough to grasp even today, which is we get tricked into thinking that there is someone that did an awful event and like shot at people and killed people. But to stay in a state of mind of like seeing this through the eyes of God, and how to forgive those images, because they do feel or seem really real, especially if you are having the experience of being in there, or a family member or friend. Being able to apply forgiveness in A Course in Miracles, or what we know as A Course in Miracles, in moments like that or after moments like that, is really, really important. And I think is what helped Jeshua and Mary achieve the state that they were able to accomplish in their lifetime, of healing their mind and fully connecting with God, and just embodying love everywhere they walked. And that's why I think, you could argue that the story of Jeshua is false, that it was made up, but I really don't think so. I think that there was someone like him that was historical and made such a huge impact on people, that loving energy has stayed with us. And yes, it's been distorted over time, in my opinion. I'm sure other people would disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm fine with that, and please let me know. But it just seemed truthful to me, and that's why I just felt like the story needed to get out. And I hope when it does, that it resonates with you, and that you have a similar experience that I have had with these two wonderful masters of love. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.